Video shows hundreds of people abandoning the party as gunshots ring out around them. 25-year-old 𝗪𝗏 seen on the back of a motorcycle as she's taken presumably to Gaza. New video released by Hamas showing their militants training on the paragliders before the attack.
The world is on fire. Israel is at war. The Middle East is a tinderbox. And World War III could literally start at any moment. Many are wondering, are all these things a sign that the end is near? Jesus said many things about what would be happening in the world in the days leading up to his second coming. One of the more fascinating things we read about in the book of Revelation is the appearance of two end times witnesses. These two will apparently be on the earth during the last 3.5 years prior to Jesus' second coming. The two witnesses of Revelation 11 are meant to remind us of the Hebrew prophets Moses and Elijah. They have the power to shut the sky so that no rain may fall on the earth. They have power over the waters of the earth, to turn oceans and rivers into blood. They have power to strike the earth with every kind of plague. We read that fire pours forth from their mouths. But who are these two end times witnesses? These two prophets who will apparently be on the earth during the last 3.5 years. Are they Moses and Elijah? Are they, as some have speculated, Elijah and Enoch returned from heaven in bodily form? Or are they some other powerful biblical pairing like Peter and Paul, like James and John, the sons of thunder? While many interpreters speculate that the two witnesses will be future end times prophets, another view falls more in line with the text of Revelation 11 and with the book's symbolic nature. The two witnesses of Revelation 11 represent the whole community of faith, the prophetic witness of the church, which comprises Jewish and Gentile believers in Jesus. You see, just as John the Baptist was not literally the prophet Elijah come again, but rather came in the spirit and power of Elijah, the two witnesses in Revelation 11 are patterned after two Old Testament figures. Please allow me to explain. The witnesses are described as lampstands, which elsewhere in the book of Revelation identifies churches. They are also described as two olive trees, which elsewhere in the New Testament represents the people of God, made up of both natural branches, ethnic Jewish believers in Jesus, and wild olive shoots, Gentile believers in Messiah who have been grafted in to God's cultivated olive tree. In verses 9 through 13, the entire world of unbelievers sees the defeat and resurrection of the two witnesses, meaning that they are visible throughout the entire earth. The two witnesses prophesy for 3.5 years, the same length of time that the holy city, the woman, and those dwelling in heaven are to be oppressed. This is symbolic of the entire church age. The witnesses are symbolic of something equally long in duration. If the woman in Revelation 12 symbolizes the community of faith existing during the church age, and she very much does, then the individual prophets in Revelation 11 likely represent the same reality during the same period of time. Finally, the power of Moses and Elijah are attributed to both of the witnesses equally, meaning that together they comprise the full and faithful witness of God's people on the earth. Do you see how the two witnesses in Revelation 11, in many ways, personify the church's mission? They not only testify to the lordship of Jesus, but they also boldly challenge the rulers of the day, those who embody the Antichrist spirit. Like the apostles, they confirm their message about Jesus through miraculous signs and suffering. Not one or the other, but both. Of course, they do die at the Antichrist's hands, but as one New Testament scholar puts it, in their very martyrdom, they overcome him. Cutting-edge witness always demands the threat of suffering, and Christian witness and suffering must precede the end. So, what's the point of all this? What big takeaway do we get from recognizing that the two witnesses of Revelation represent the faithful prophetic witness of the church? Christian, you are the witness. You are the living testimony. You are a part of the two lampstands and the two olive trees. Your job is to testify powerfully, truthfully, prophetically as a last days witness to the lordship of Jesus Christ and to his imminent return. You are to represent the kingdom of God on this earth with your life, which will inevitably become a rebuke against the fallen, pleasure-seeking, unjust world in which we live. More so as you live and grow in Christian holiness and maturity. The time for the church to rise up is now. The time for passivity is over. If you belong to Jesus, you must lift your voice. Take your place amongst the faithful remnant who make up the two lampstands and the two olive trees. You are on the earth to testify, to bear witness to his name. Are you in?